Hey guys, this is Dustin with Get Some Dirt Time. I wanted to talk to you guys about what are some of the basic things you need for leatherworking. 1, 2, and this you don't even need. If you can find somewhere that you can get a like saddle needles, then that's all you need. If you can find a really robust sail needle or something for cheap, that'll work too. But it's not very difficult. Although if you do want to get a stitching out, I recommend getting the one with a spool that runs perpendicular to the needle instead of the spool that runs parallel with that runs in line with the needle, because the ones that run in line seem to bind up a lot worse. This works great. I actually had one from Harbor Freight for a very long time. I've made several projects. I made the IWB that I currently carry still. That's like my third project with that type of stitching wheel, and it works. You know, it works. It's a pain in the neck to use if it binds up and stuff, but as you can see, I made this with that stitching awl, and that's just about it. I cut the leather with a pair of scissors. You know, I stitched it all on. My nose is itching like crazy right now. And you can even see on the back here, my stitching was horrible. It was completely wrong. I was doing it wrong. I guess this is a type of stitch, but it's an old type of stitch that isn't even used anymore. So, but here's the other pouch I made. This one, the stitches were much better. Anyways, back to the tools you need. Real quick, they've got where'd it go? They've got, well, this is a gouge I made actually. I just took a piece of round stock, drilled a hole in it, ground it to an edge, hit it with a little sandpaper, and called it a gouge. I mean, it works. I mean, I can show you that even with its limited it does its job. So then you can make a crease right there after a little bit. Actually, it's not doing its job very well. I think I need to hit it with some 1000 grit again. But once again, back to the razor knife, you can fold over a piece. Like say you wanted to make a corner, and this is how long you wanted it. You just take your razor knife, and relax, guys. My thumb is hitting this guard before it even gets anywhere near my finger. For those of you that are like, oh, you're cutting towards yourself? That's just silly. You can cut towards yourself as long as you're not pulling it towards yourself. And then that will make your 90-degree corner. Once again, gouge is replaced with razor knife. To remove bulk material from a part, to make, say, some type of I have no idea right now off the top of my head. Like if you wanted to make a keychain or something like that, and the leather you're working with is too thick, or you want to make something like a ferro rod, like a little loop for a ferro rod, razor knife will do it. It'll do it. You know, it's hard to do. It's not like leather's not like wood, where you have a grain that helps with a predictable path of least resistance for the blade. The leather kind of does whatever the heck it wants to. It's a lot like plastic that way, where you can fine tune a curl off of it, but then it just slips off. And now with a skiving tool or a skiving tool, You can see here, there's a little razor blade, a real flexible razor blade in there. And you just take that and it'll actually take off thin layers of leather for you. But once again, this tool is replaced by the handy razor knife. If you want to use an awl instead of a stitching awl, like if you want to saddle stitch it but you have to punch holes first, there's a scratch awl. You use it for scoring a line on the metal. This is what I use when I want to punch through like thick material, or even, you know, pre-punch a hole for the stitching awl so it, you know, just it's not as hard to go through. Like, because a stitching awl, especially this one, will actually go through the leather without a pre-done hole, without a pre-punched hole. I like pre-punching my holes because then it takes stress off of the needles. It takes stress off the palm of your hand. It doesn't cause as much damage to the thread that you're using, stuff like that. Now, if I had to pick a tool to buy, say first, second, third, whatever, you know, I'd always say get Speedy Stitch, get a stitching awl first, and then go on from there. But I gotta say, a punch like this rotary punch, or a set of punches, or some kind of punch will be great, because in that case, instead of having to do stitches, you can build. Got a random cord there. You can build leather projects with rivets, and like for example, this hatchet mask has got rivets and snaps and more rivets. There's not a single stitch on this bad boy, but it does its job. And with this one, I can flip it around and use the pull hammer on it, and it won't cut through the front of the mask, of the face of the mask. That's one thing. Always make sure that when you're doing an axe mask or hatchet mask or a hawk mask, if you plan on striking the back of it, you must make sure that you have a piece of leather that goes in between the two main pieces, or that hatchet or tomahawk or axe or whatever you have in there will cut the thread, will cut the snaps, will cut whatever it is on there, because the impact. I know a lot of people are saying, well, duh, I made that mistake. I had to take that all apart and put that new piece in. But yeah, honestly guys, all you need is a way to put thread in and a way to cut it. I mean, hell, you don't even need to use a razor knife. A really sharp kitchen knife or a really sharp or a decent pair of scissors will work just fine. As far as where to get it, like the piece that I've been cutting on was from a remnant package that you can get at Hobby Lobby for, I think the whole, like a 5-pound package or a 1-pound package is like $8. I've done 3 sheaths, a holster, and my calico pouch, my multicolored pouch, out of the same package. You know, and 2 of the sheaths I sold for $20 a piece. I made back my leather and every piece of equipment I had at the time. That's pretty much all I got. One other thing. If you're gonna make a project that's going to get wet, I recommend using paraffin wax. You heat it up. You throw the project in the oven for a couple of minutes, like 2, on 350 or even 250. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't take that long. And then once your project heats up, you take a paintbrush, dip it in some liquid paraffin wax, and just brush it on. Throw it back in the oven for a couple seconds. Take it out, brush it on, throw it in the oven, bring it out, brush it on, throw it in the oven. Get where I'm going with this. How you know when you're done is when you pull it out of the oven and you can see wax pooling on it. Then you take yourself either a rag or a piece of paper towel, and then wipe it down real good. Actually work on the leather a little bit, and then throw it back in the oven for a couple minutes. Bring it out, work on it a little bit, rubbing the paper towel or the rag or something on it, and then put it back in the oven for a couple seconds. Then once you got it where it's all uniform and you don't have wet looking spots on it, put whatever you're making it for in it, snap it, close it, tie it, whatever you're doing, and then let it cool. When it cools, you end up with something like this. It's still holding its shape, and it's hard. I mean, it's not like this is what. But you can tell the difference. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you. When you're all said and done, you've got your leather product all done. As you can see by the bowl, this is actually a rice bowl my sister made me when she was in high school. I still have it. But as you can see from the bowl, I've had to shoot this video a couple of times. Well, what a waste of good water. But watch when hang on, let me get a better angle on this for you guys. Boom, right there. Now watch. This is unwaxed leather. This is the waxed leather, and I want to show you these side by side so you can see how they react differently to the water. You see the difference? Now this is clearly darker, and you can actually even see the water still sitting on it. Where this, it's got a couple drips on the backside. But now I can take my hand, wipe it off, completely dry. If I do the same thing with this, you can still see the dark streak where the water was. Do you need a lot of fancy tools to do leather work? No. Do a few help? Yes. Like I said, the rotary punch, the skimming tool, a really nice awl would make projects go a lot faster. This helps, but it wouldn't help. It would help better. It would help more if I had a really nice leather awl, because that is not. So, thanks for watching, guys. This is Dustin with Get Some Dirt Time. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video I can do.